Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Ramonti Fauzia and April 57. Now we are in the sixth meeting of our database theory. My lecturer is Rengga Asmara Iskom OCA, and in this sixth meeting we will discuss about constraint. Next. Objectives. So the purpose of our discuss now is to understanding the definition of constraint and can make constraint and can perform maintenance of constraint. So we have main object here. 1. Constraint. Constraint itself. Constraints it divided to not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, and then check. And the second object is modifying constraint. What and how we will now begin. Constraint. What, how, and here's like what I said before. Here's the kind of constraint. What is constraint? Constraint is restriction or rules on the table. Constraints prevent the deletion of data from a table that has a relationship with another table. 1. Not null constraint. A column that is defined with a not null constraint can contain null values. Column to serve as a primary key should not be null automatically. Like that, the example. We have this table. Here is not null constraint. We can see that not null values in this column. And here's its column with no not null constraint, so it may have null value. Example. We create table employees with constraint last name, varchar2, type, and 25 characters with not null constraint and hire date. And here's is the constraint, the name of constraint, m hire date, and n not null. So there are two types to make constraint when we make table. 2. Constraint 2 is unique. Unique constraint defines a column into a unique character. The illustration of the use of unique constraint is like that. In table employees, we see that email is not same. Every data have not same because it's unique. Like that, if we enter this, so it's allowed because there are no data with the same values like this. But if we put in again, it won't be allowed. There is already. Table creation command for the previous illustration. So it's the illustration is the syntax to make the table with just before. Create table employees, employee ID, number, last name, email, salary. Here is the constraint. Constraint m email UK. So the table employee field email in it's the unique constraint, so we define it as UK. Constraint is unique and the column is email. Is the second way to make the constraint. Constraint number 3 is primary key. Primary key constraint from a unique key for a table. Column are defined as primary key will identify a row of data into unique. Example of the use of primary key constraint. We create the table departments and we make the tab ID as primary key in the column department ID. Illustration is like that. In the table department, years is the primary key department ID, and we want to put this data like that. Not value is not allowed because primary key does not allow the null value and the value that already exists. So we can say that primary key is a constraint combined of not null and unique. We insert into, and the constraint number 4 is foreign key. Foreign key constraint is defined on an existing column in a table where the table associated by others as a primary key. Here is the illustration in the table departments like that. In the employees, years is the foreign key. Sorry. So here in employees, in department ID, maybe in this column in table department is a primary key, but in employees it becomes the foreign key like that. Now we have the example if we want to insert values. For employee ID number 204 with department ID 9 is not allowed because there is no number 9, so it refers to another. So we will see department ID number 9 is not exist, so we cannot insert the value. And another example, it's allowed because number 60 is exist, so we can insert into the value. So foreign key is reference to each other. Example for previous illustration. Here the example if we want to make the table employees which have constraint employee and department is foreign key. So AM and dep foreign key in column department ID reference. So the column the constraint is reference in the table departments with column is department ID. Constraint type is unique. It's the example of unique. It's the example of foreign key. So there are add and for constraint the add references word to the make of constraint. And the last constraint is check. Check constraint is used to define a condition that must be met by each row the data in the table. Example of use: salary number 2 is the type. Constraint m salary mean check, so we can make the constraint by using check where there is a condition that salary is greater than null. Greater than 0, I mean, sorry. Here is the and now we go to the second subject and last subject, modifying constraint. So what will we do? There are add, delete, disable, cascade, and enable constraint. 1. Add constraint. Add constraint. To add constraint, use the alter table command. If we use command prompt, we can use writing alter table name of table, add constraint type, and the column. Example: foreign key constraint is added to the employees table that shows that manager must be valid or come from the employees table. After table employees, add constraint, so we add constraint and manager foreign key, that foreign key manager ID reference to foreign key from employee ID. 2. Delete constraint. It's quite easy to delete a constraint. We also use the alter table command. Write alter table drop. We can only use drop constraint, and what's the name of constraint. Here is the example to remove the constraint manager from the employees table. Alter table employees drop constraint, the constraint foreign key. 3. Disable constraint. To disable the use clause, disable constraint. Cascade option is used to disable dependent integrity constraint. We'll see like that. If we are not using cascade, so we cannot disable randomly. We cannot disable arbitrarily. We have, because maybe our constraint we want to disable is using to another table, so we use cascade to force our disable constraint, like that. Enable constraint. To re-enable the constraint, use the enable clause. It's easy, we just use this enable. And 5. Cascade constraint. Cascade constraint clause is used with the drop column clause. Cascade constraint remove all referential integrity constraints that refer to primary and unique key that is defined in the column removed. We can see that there are two examples. Maybe primary key, foreign key is used by other table, but with cascade constraint we force to delete the relation, so it will be make an effect to not for each table, but another table will be gotten the effect, like that. Displaying constraint. I think it's quite easy, but we have to know the syntax. Select constraint name, constraint type, search condition. It's a default by Oracle. From user constraints, where table name is the table name. There are two examples. Okay, we have to do the exercise. After the theory I give, we will do the exercise. Number 1. A table level primary key constraint on the M table. On the ID column, constraint is named myMIDPK. Okay, I will give the demonstration using ISQL plus. Because AMP is exists in the username Scott. I will load my script I have made before. like that. Because the AMP table is exists, we have to alter the table and add the constraint. Execute. Oh, it invalid identifier. I think that the MID is not exist. I will know the MID. What's MID name? Oh, it should be no, not MID. Execute. Like that. Why is error? Because the table is have already have one primary key, so we cannot add the primary key again. But for the adding the primary key, it's the syntax. Next question. Number 2. Create a primary key constraint on the table using the ID column. Constraint is named my tab ID pickup. I think it cannot because we have tried this and it can be because table can have only one primary key. Better we make some example like that. Samples. No. Number 2. We can use like that. Sorry guys. Like that we sorry I think we missed the like that. I think can like this only. I think we can use like that, only like that. Yes, like that. So we have make the table examples and we make the primary key in no. If we want to use my tab ID PK, so we have to give name in this my tab ID PK like that. Number 3. Add column tab ID to the M table. Add foreign key reference to the M table to ensure that employee data entered by number department in the table tab. So because the M table is exists, we alter the table. Sorry guys, I think it's not tab no, but it's tab. Yes, like that. Table is entered. Number 4. Display constraints that have been added by looking at the view user constraint. It's quite simple because we only display that. Select constraint name, constraint type from user constraint where table M. Yes, we can see that there is the constraint. Next question. Show the object name and its type from data dictionary for the mtabel user object and tab. There are object name, object type from user objects, where object name like that. Nora selected. So there are no objects in this table. Modify the M table, add commission column with data type number 2. Add constraint to ensure that this column should be filled with a value more than 0 I mean. Load script number 6. Load. So we will select that. We alter tabel AMP. Add commission number we can do. Add constraint mcom ck check commission more than 0. Tabel altered. So a success. Okay. Number 5, number 6, okay. And we have come to the end of our 6th meeting. Thank you guys. Goodbye. See you.